What's up, goodies? Welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen, how to cook. And today we're making delicious curry seafood recipe in the kitchen, fast, easy and simple. Make sure you subscribe, goodie, if you have not, and turn on the post notifications so you won't miss any other uploads. And for all I'm returning goodie, when I don't know son of girl love and I'm ready for cook, come on, let's cook. Alright, goodies, let's cook. Now let's talk about all our ingredients here. Now I have some bell peppers here, and the bell pepper that I'm using is green, of course, and I chopped it up really nicely. I'm also adding scallion and thyme, sliced onions, tomatoes, and I do have 2 bay leaves here and a hot Scotch bonnet pepper. Alright, now we're talking about our shrimp here. Now I'm choosing to use a tiger shrimp for the recipe. Of course, you don't have to go this route. You could use whatever kind of a shrimp that you have. You go ahead and use that. I'm adding also a lobster tail here, and I'm going to add some de-shelled queen crab legs. All right. Now I'm also going to be adding to the recipe some green mussels, of course, you guys, because it's going to turn it up a way a notch. And of course, most importantly for this recipe, we're adding some pumpkin, and we're also adding some potatoes. I use 1 large potatoes and a lot of pumpkin, sliced or diced, however you want to do it. Just make sure that you have a pumpkin for the recipe and make sure that you have your potatoes on deck. And this right here, you guys, is your base ingredients, the most important ingredients, and we'll talk about the rest later. Now to get started, I did go ahead and wash my shrimp up with salt, lemon juice and vinegar, and I cleaned my shrimp. Make sure you say devein your shrimp from the inside out. Okay, now we're going to season very simple here. We're adding a little bit of salt, and you don't want to go too much on the salt here, and a little bit of black pepper. So we're basically pinching these two, right? Now, this is why you don't want to add too much salt, because this Old Bay season really has a lot of salt in it. So I did go in with the Old Bay season, and of course you can substitute that out. And I went in with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to my shrimp. And then I did go in and add a little bit of dried parsley flakes to it. And I rubbed in all of these ingredients really well, and then sit them aside. And this is all that you need to do. Okay, now if you want to add some more seasons, so we go ahead and add some more seasons because you want to make it your own, so go ahead and do that. Now we're going to season our green mussels just a little bit, and I did only use the Old Bay seasoning. Seasoned 1 side, give it a little turn just to make sure that everything was seasoned, and sprinkle again. And this is all it took. I didn't add any more seasonings to that. Now I'm doing the same thing here with the queen de-shelled lobster tails, and I'm doing the same thing with the shrimp, with the lobster. Okay, just very simple, you guys, just simple something, right? But I did add a little bit of the dried parsley, and that's all that I did here, and also sit that aside, right? Very simple. Now if you guys are still here watching, be sure that you subscribe to the channel. All right, now moving along, we're going to start cooking this thing and putting everything together. So the first thing you want to do is cook your shrimp. So I'm using sesame seed oil. Of course, you could always substitute your oil out, you guys. All right, I'm just using that because that's the choice that I take. Okay, all right, so now these shrimps are going to be cooked for only 3 minutes. So let's just say 1.5 minutes on each side, a total of 3 minutes. And why you don't want to overcook these shrimp right here, because we are going to be adding them into the last process of the cooking, so you don't want to overcook them here. Then after about 1.5 minutes, you go ahead and you turn them. And what I want to say, you guys, that my stovetop is had a medium heat only. So do not turn it up on high, because it's going to burn, and it's not only going to burn, it's going to have your shrimp cooking very fast, and you don't want to do that. You just want to cook it nice and mellow at that 1 minute on 1.5 minutes on one side, and 1.5 minutes on the other side, and then you flip them. They're going to be nice and beautiful, just like this. All right, and then that's all it takes here. Very simple, you guys. Very simple, that you don't have rubbery shrimp. Now we're going to go ahead and you want to remove them when they're looking like this. And again, 3 minutes at the most. Set these aside, all right? And then we're going to move on to our next step. All right, so now after we've done that, we're going to use the same pane because it has a lot of seafood flavor in it. We're going to add some curry powder. I'm using the Ocherius curry powder. Of course, you could substitute that out. And I also like to use turmeric sometimes when I'm doing this recipe. Toast it up for about, I'll say 30 seconds. Medium heat, you guys. And then you go in and add some garlic. I'm using chopped garlic here. Okay. And give it a nice little spin and make the curry burn good. Then we go in and we add all our vegetables, our onion, tomatoes, scallion and thyme, pepper, and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and toss that in a little bit here, all right? And again, your fire is at a medium heat. And then I'm adding some water to it. You want to bring it up to a nice amount because we are definitely going to go in and add our potatoes, and we're also going to go in and add the pumpkin. And you want to make sure that this has enough water in it so it will cook the pumpkin and the potatoes very well. Now, after you have added the pumpkin and the potatoes, you still want to be sure that you have your stovetop at a medium heat. Now is a perfect time to taste this up to make sure that it is flavored the way that you want it. However, for me, I did go in and add a little bit of jerk season to it, and I want to make sure that my potatoes and my onions and everything else that I had it here as flavor. So I added some Old Bay season, a little bit of ginger powder to balance out the curry so it's not getting by the earth belly. And then after I did that, I went in with a little bit of onion powder. And I did add, to combine it, some garlic powder, okay, you guys? So go ahead and add your season. Just make sure that you season it up nicely so that the flavor bursts from this point. Now, don't forget to add your black pepper, all right? I did add a little bit of allspice. Otherwise, pimento seeds or pimento berry, maybe about 8 of those to the mix. A pinch of salt, as you could see, not a lot. And give it a good mix. Now we're going to cover this up for no more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes at the most. Anything after 15 minutes is overdone because you don't want your potatoes and your pumpkin to overcook. It's going to become very mushy, okay? And we don't want that to happen. Cover it up 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes you come back. This is what you have. Going to be bubbling and it's going to be smelling amazing, and your potato and your pumpkin is still holding, you guys. Still holding. All right, so next thing you want to do is this. Now you want to go in and you're going to add your seafood. Now I'm using, like I said, lobster tail here, and I'm adding in the listen, you're adding in all your seafood here, all your seafood. And again, you could add whatever kind of a seafood you want. Even if you have crab, you guys, you could add crab in it. It is amazing with crab. I've done it with crabs already, and it's amazing. It's, when I say flavorful, it is flavorful. So you just go in and add all your seafoods to it, just like I'm showing you guys here on top. And again, my fire did not change from the medium heat. Now, I always add crackers. I'm using Jamaican Excelsior crackers to it. You could use any other kind of a crackers, but just make sure it's the Jamaican crackers you're using, right? I added just a few crackers to it because my husband loves it when I had the crackers to it. I love it, love it. Now I'm using apple cider vinegar, you guys, because I never cook without that. And then I'm adding 4 tablespoons of butter to the mix. When this butter melts, it's going to go right into the seafood and it's going to turn it up to another level. You want to go in right here, and after you do this, you just want to be sure that you cover this up, and you're allowing this to cook for about 5 minutes. Now 5 minutes later, you come back, this is what you have. Because remember, you guys, I'm using cooked seafood already, so they don't need to be overdone. So just go in and you want to coat your seafood with that really delicious tasting gravy in bottom, and make sure that you get it also on your crackers, okay? Just like so. Perfect. Now after you've done all of that and the thing look amazing, the last thing you want to do is add the shrimp, and you're going to add the shrimp on top. Now remember, you only cooked your shrimp for 3 minutes, right? So I want it to cook for an additional like 1.5 minutes and nothing less. So this is what I do to make sure that I have very tender shrimp for this recipe, because if you're not careful, this is where the shrimp will get overcooked and rubbery, right? So as soon as you put it in on top, you go ahead and you sprinkle, whether you want to add fresh parsley or dried parsley, you go ahead and sprinkle that on top. I'm choosing to use the dry one here. It's perfect, just the same. You don't want to cover this again. Don't cover it because it's going to be overcooked. Just leave it, let it hang out, and let that steam from bottom and the flavor from bottom comes up to top, and it's going to cook your shrimp. So give it another 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes and you're done, you guys. Oh my goodness, goody, and we are all done here. All that is left for you to do is plate up this baby. I'm telling you, you are going to fall in love with this recipe. Anybody that you share this thing up for, them will go love it forever. Remember me tell you, okay? Just be sure that you spread this good love with a friend, with a family. Bring them come, goody. Bring them come. Send them come, I'm waiting. And when they get done doing all of that, tell me what you want to see me cook next in my kitchen. And remember, as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen. Enjoy!